Mount Hood, located in the Pacific Northwest, is a popular destination for climbers from around the world. The popular route begins at Timberline Lodge, where climbers are taken by snowcat along the flank of the mountain to Palmer Glacier and the ski elevator. The climb itself is more of a steep hike, with crampons usually not required until the 8,500-foot level. Upon reaching a ridgeline named the Hogback, climbers rope up, and if they haven't already, begin to use their ice axes. Along the ridgeline, climbers reach a glacial crevasse, the Bergschrund, at about 3,200 meters elevation. Beyond the Bergschrund is the steepest part of the climb, as the climb continues with several rock formations called the Pearly Gates. Then it is a short climb to the top of the mountain. On May 30th, 2002, weather conditions were perfect, with temperatures just below freezing, clear skies, and a gentle breeze. A group of seasoned climbers left around midnight, ready to reach the summit via the south face before sunrise. It was the perfect time of year to climb, considering May to mid-July offers the best conditions, with minimal risk of exposure to crevasses, avalanches, rockfall, and icefall. The first team consisted of Harry Slutter, Chris Kern, Rick Reed, and Bill Ward. Slutter and Kern were seasoned climbers with multiple ascents of Mount Hood under their name. Ward, a passionate but less experienced climber, was climbing Mount Hood for the first time. Reed was a novice, but the team was considered experts in the area. All four had reached the summit, and after a rest, they were descending using a red rope. The second team consisted of Thomas Hillman and John Biggs. Both had previous climbing experience like Team 1. They had successfully reached the summit and descended using a purple rope about 50 meters apart. As these two teams descended the mountain, a group of climbers from the Tualatin Valley Fire Department ascended. They were split into two teams and were also in rope. The first team to ascend the mountain was led by Jeff Pierce. About 4 to 6 meters behind him was Cole Joyner, and last, about 4 to 6 meters behind Joyner, was Jeremiah Moffett. The second team following them, also roped up, was led by Dennis Butler. About 6 meters behind him, Selena Maestas. About 6 meters behind her was Cleve Joyner, and about 6 meters behind him was Chad Hashbarger. Pierce's team had reached the crevasse and went around it to the left. He led his team in a winding line back to the ridge. Pierce was about 12 meters above the gorge, Cole Joyner about 9 meters above it, and Jeremiah Moffett about 6 meters above it. Dennis Butler was leading his team on the downhill side of the crevasse, in line with the Hogback. He was about 1.5 meters below the crevasse and decided to pause for a moment to give Pierce's team a chance to get back on the ridge. According to Butler, he wanted to give them a few minutes before starting the detour around the crevasse. At 08:30, an accident happened. Ward and Reed lost their grip and fell. According to the official Clackamas County Sheriff report, the accident happened very quickly. Chris Kern remembered a blur in his field of vision that occurred so quickly that he could not recall any warning from the falling climbers. He quickly assumed the arresting position, but was pulled straight down by the weight of the other two climbers. Bill Ward would have fallen 30 meters to Kern's position, Rick Reed about 10 meters, and the two went another 10 meters lower past Kern, where the slack in their rope was taken up. The speed of the three falling climbers increased and pulled Kern out of his arresting position. Similarly, Harry Slutter noticed a flash of color in his field of vision and moved into the arrest position on the other side of the trip line. Ward had traveled 42 meters to where the slack in Slutter's rope was included, Reed about 32 meters, and Kern about 20 meters, with the speed of the three climbers being enough to pull Slutter out of his arrest position. The four climbers tumbled down the mountain toward John Biggs and Thomas Hillman. Hillman heard someone yell "fall" and saw a climber bump into Biggs, causing Biggs to flip over and fall off the mountain. Hillman was caught in a hold when he saw a red rope go over his purple rope and felt the weight of the falling climber on his rope. As he was pulled down, he tried to clamp his ice axe into the ice. It was a horrible moment. All 9 climbers fell into the 50-meter wide and 20-meter deep Bergschrund Gorge. The unexpected event and the feeling of helplessness made the scene even more horrifying. It was a moment of horror as the climbers struggled to survive in the icy depths of the gorge, knowing that one misstep could mean certain death. According to the official Clackamas County Sheriff report, there was no evidence of recklessness on the part of the climbers involved. They all used proper equipment and all followed standard climbing procedures. They also practiced self-control, rope use, and other climbing methods before climbing the mountain. The fall was fatal to Biggs, Reed, and Ward. The others, Slutter, Kern, Hillman, and Moffett, were seriously injured and were fighting for their lives. Joyner and Pierce, who ended up higher in the gorge, suffered minor injuries. The the scene was one of chaos and horror. When the tragic accident happened, nearby climbers rushed to help the survivors and pull them out of the icy canyon. Fortunately, several climbers were firefighters or doctors and provided excellent first aid to the injured before the professional mountain rescue teams arrived. At 8:58 a.m., one of the rescuers immediately called for reinforcements. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office initiated a rescue operation, and the AMR Reach and Treat team was the first rescue team to arrive on the scene, providing medical attention to the injured climbers. A member of the Mount Hood Pro Ski Patrol soon joined the rescue effort, while helicopters from the 304th Rescue Squadron of the Air Force Reserve Command and the 1042nd Air Ambulance Unit of the Oregon National Guard were deployed to the area to transport the injured to nearby hospitals. At 1:15 p.m., a 5-person team from Portland Mountain Rescue arrived just as the Oregon National Guard was bringing down one of the most severely injured survivors by plane. The PMR team placed 2 rescuers at the bottom of the Hogsback with one of the severely injured patients and 3 at the edge of the Bergschrund with the remaining patients. In a remarkably valiant effort, one of the injured climbers even helped extract the other victims from the gorge before descending 300 meters and succumbing to the shock of his injuries. Just as the rescue efforts were underway, another disaster struck, adding to the chaos and danger of the situation. The Air Force Reserve Command's Pavehawk helicopter had arrived to airlift one of the critically injured climbers, but as it prepared to take off, it suddenly lost lift. Dipped downwards towards the southwest and crashed nose first into the mountain, rolling 8 times down into the crater. The accident injured the 5 crew members on board, but miraculously, no one perished. The cause of the helicopter accident was still under investigation. It was assumed that the skill and ability of the AFRC pilot would have played a crucial role in the outcome of the accident. The pilot's ability to fly the Pavehawk at a lower altitude and away from the gap likely saved the lives of many rescue workers who were below the helicopter. In addition, it was noted that the co-pilot and pilot were able to remain tethered during the helicopter's violent roll into the crater, which likely contributed to their relatively minor injuries. The rescue operation on Mount Hood had a heartbreaking outcome, with 3 climbers perishing and many others injured. Footage captured by helicopter cameras from 2 local television stations and broadcast worldwide revealed the horrors and devastation of that fateful day.
9 climbers fell into a crevasse about 9 a.m. this morning. 3 of those climbers were dead when they were reached by rescue workers. You're looking now at live pictures there from the south side of Mount Hood.
The memory of the fallen climbers and the courage of the rescuers, who put their own lives on the line to save others, will forever be etched in the hearts of those involved in this tragic incident. Thanks for watching this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bell to stay updated on more similar videos. We would love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share your comments below. Until next time.